There's a philosopher sitting in a small room. A young man walks in, angry and frustrated. He feels trapped by life, haunted by his past, and tired of pretending to be someone he's not. What follows is not a lecture. It's a war of ideas. A battle between how most people live and how they could live. This is the story of the courage to be disliked, a conversation that turns the world upside down. It's based on the philosophy of Alfred Adler, who believed that happiness and freedom come the moment you stop living for approval. The prison you don't see. The young man tells the philosopher, "I'm unhappy because of my past. My parents were strict. My childhood was miserable. That's why I am." And the philosopher calmly replies, "No, you are unhappy because you choose to be." That line hits like a slap, but it's the foundation of the whole book. Adler's belief, and the core of the story, is simple. Your past doesn't define you. Your choices right now do. Freud said the past shapes everything. Adler disagreed. He said, "It's not what happened to you. It's what purpose you give to what happened." People use their past as an excuse. I can't trust people because I was betrayed. I can't take risks because I failed. Before, I can't love because I was hurt. But the philosopher says, that's a story you tell yourself to. Justify staying where you are. You can change it the moment you decide to. The goal behind behavior. Here's what most people miss. Adler believed every action, even the worst ones, serve a goal. You're not controlled by your trauma. You're guided by what you want to achieve through it. Example, a student says, "I don't study because I'm lazy." But the real reason might be they're afraid to fail. If they don't try, they never face the truth of their limits. We call it procrastination, but it's really fear in disguise. When you see your actions as goal-driven, you stop playing the victim. You realize everything you do for a reason. And if that reason doesn't serve your growth, you can replace it. The lie about competition. The young man insists that life is a race. You're either ahead or behind, better or worse, successful or a failure. The philosopher shakes his head. That's where your suffering begins, he says. Adler believed the real disease of modern life is comparison. We measure ourselves by other people, their jobs, relationships, beauty, numbers. And the moment you do that, you lose your own path. Why do you need to be better than anyone? The philosopher asks. You don't need to prove your worth. You just need to contribute, to play your role in this world. That's the shift, from competition to contribution. When you compete, you're always looking sideways. When you contribute, you're looking forward. Freedom comes when you stop asking, "Who's ahead of me?" and start asking, "Who needs me to show up today?" The need for approval. This part of the book stings because it hits where we all live. We crave likes, validation, attention. We hide our truth just to be accepted. But Adler and the philosopher in this story call that a trap. You think pleasing others will make you loved, but it only makes you controlled. The philosopher says, you cannot live your life trying to meet other people's expectations. Each of us has what he calls our own task. Your task is to live your truth. Others' task is to deal with how they feel about it. If you start taking responsibility for their emotions, you lose control of your own. That's what the courage to be disliked really means. It's not arrogance. It's freedom. It's the courage to say, I'll be kind, but I'll still be myself. Separation of tasks. This is one of the most powerful lessons in the book. When someone criticizes you, ask, is this my task or theirs? If your boss doesn't like your idea, that's their task. If your parents don't like your choices, their task. If someone doesn't approve of your life, still their task. Your only task is to live honestly. When you start separating tasks, You stop trying to control others' emotions. You stop feeling guilty for things outside your control. That's where peace begins. Asterisk. True freedom isn't rebellion. The young man gets angry. So, I should just ignore everyone and do whatever I want? The philosopher smiles. That's not freedom. That's rebellion. And rebellion still means others control you. Real freedom isn't doing the opposite of what people expect. It's not needing their expectations at all. You can disagree, yet still respect. You can live your own way without turning life into a fight. Freedom isn't chaos. It's calm. Asterisk happiness comes from contribution. The philosopher asks, when are you truly happy? The young man thinks, maybe when he's admired, loved, successful. But the philosopher says, no, you feel real joy when you're contributing to someone's life. Adler believed humans only find meaning when they feel useful to others. That doesn't mean sacrifice, it means connection. When you stop competing and start connecting, you realize happiness isn't a prize. It's a byproduct of living with purpose. Asterisk the courage to change. At the end of the dialogue, the young man asks the hardest question. What if I try and people still hate me? The philosopher answers, then you'll know what freedom really feels like. Because freedom isn't being liked. It's being at peace with yourself even when you're not. That's courage, not the absence of fear, but walking forward even when it's there. Asterisk the final message. The philosopher ends with this truth. You are not controlled by your past, by society, or by others' opinions. You are controlled only by the story you tell yourself. Change that story, and you change your life. That's the core of the courage to be disliked. It's not about becoming cold or isolated. It's about becoming authentic, strong enough to live your truth without begging for approval. And maybe, in the end, the real courage isn't about facing the world. It's about facing yourself and not looking away.